For Excel exercise number 3, part 2, we need to add another tab into this worksheet so we can complete the equations. Let's select our plus sign to add a new sheet. And now this is the new sheet we will be working off of. So I'm going to go back to my instructions and I am just going to copy all of the information I need to calculate, and I will paste this in Excel exercise number 3, part 2. So we will need to calculate all of the missing information with all of these different equations. So we will either have to calculate the retail, the cost, the markup dollar, or the markup percent. So now let's go ahead and get started. So to figure out our markup dollars, we take our retails minus our cost. We have $335, and we need to find our markup percent, take our markup dollars, divide it into our total retail dollars, getting us a 51.5% markup. We need to do the same thing over here. Take our retail value minus our cost to get an $11 markup. Take our $11 markup, divide it into our $16 retail, and we have a cost of 68.8%. Next, we need to figure out our cost, and we need to figure out our markup dollar. To figure out our markup dollar, we can go about it in two different ways. So first off, what we can do is we can take our total retail dollar times the markup percent to get our markup dollar of 63.25. Now to get our cost, we can take our total retail dollars minus the markup dollar to get our cost of $51.75. Or we can figure out the cost first before figuring out our markup dollar. We simply take our retail dollar, multiply it by 1 or 100% minus the 53% markup to get our cost dollar. Once we have done that, we can see that the actual cost is $129.25. So we simply take our retail minus our cost to get our markup dollar. Now, to calculate our retail dollar, we take our cost plus our markup dollars to get our total retail dollars of 68 cents. Figure out our markup percent, we take our markup dollar and divide it into our retail dollar. Same thing, next problem, we take our total cost plus our markup dollar, and now we take, for our markup percent, the markup dollar and divide it into our total retail dollar. We always want to make sure we reflect one decimal place out when we're calculating our percents. So now to figure out our cost, we take our retail dollars minus our markup dollars to get our cost of $1. We once again take our markup dollar and divide it into our retail dollar to get our markup percent. Same thing, retail minus markup equals our cost, and our markup dollar divided by our retail dollar gets our markup percent. So now we need to figure out our retail dollars and our markup dollars. All we know is our cost and our markup percent. So we take our cost divided by our 1 or 100% minus our 48.5% for the markup percent. So what we are simply doing is taking the actual value of the cost and dividing it by the cost percent, essentially, because once we take the 1 minus our markup percent, that percent we are left with is our cost percent. So we are simply taking our cost dollar and dividing it into our cost percent to now get the retail value of $87.38. To calculate our markup dollar, we take our retail minus our cost to get our markup dollar at $42.38. We will do the same thing over here. So we will take our cost dollar divided by our 1 minus our markup percent to essentially get our cost dollar divided by our cost percent to now get a retail value of $25. To calculate our markup dollars, we take our retail minus our cost and we get $13 in markup dollars. Now we take our retail minus our cost to get our markup dollars, and once again for our markup percent we take our markup dollars and divide it into our retail dollars. Once again we take our markup dollars, divide it into our retail dollars to get our markup percent. For this last one, we need to figure out our cost dollars or our markup dollars. So we simply take our retail times our markup percent to get our markup dollars. And we take our retail dollars minus our markup dollars to get our cost dollars. Once again, our retail dollars times our markup percent to get our markup dollars. And then we simply take our retail dollars minus our markup dollars to get our cost. Now that is how we complete all of the equations within this table, but let's go ahead and do some formatting now. We will rename our sheet to read Exercise 3, Part 2. Now let's also apply a color to this tab, but let's select a different color. So we will go ahead and select, let's do a green. So we have blue for our first tab and green for our second tab. Now we also need to make sure we put a title on this worksheet. So I'm going to delete the original table 1, calculating cost, markup, and retail. We'll delete that, and I'm going to label this title as Relationship to Markup. Now I want this to go over all of the text and all of the data for the sheet, so I will do a merge and center, and I will bold this. Maybe we can highlight this as well. Let's put borders around our sheet so we have it nice and formatted. From here, let's go ahead and save it. But let's not forget to also insert our headers and put our name and also the assignment that we are working on. Be sure to put your date as well. So we now have our headers on our page. However, you can see that since I went down an extra row, the header is running into our actual data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a row above our information in row 1. So everything is going to get pushed down. Now we can clearly see our header as well as our information. Let's go back to view it in a normal view. Save, and we are ready to print. So that is all for Excel exercise number 3.